Yeah. Sounds good.
So we are live, yes. Let's wait for a couple of more minutes so that people can join, because it's Sunday afternoon. Hi guys, good afternoon. This is Naval and I have Manish with me. So
Hey guys, this is Manish.
yes. Hi Uttam. So today Manish is going to start by sharing his outlook towards market for next week. And he will also take on his stickers, and then I will share my viewpoint as well. And we'll try to collaborate and give you a view from different perspectives. All right. Hi, Anchor. I'm just going to share the link across so that people can start joining in. Okay, I think we have about 7 people. We can, hi, Ike. So we can get started, Manish. And if you want to give your introduction to the group.
Yeah.
All
All right. So my name is Manish. I've been trading for the last 2 years full time. I started my journey beginning 2019. I got into trading and I fell in love with trading, and I dedicate my whole 2019 into trading, learning and learning and learning. And end of 2019, I decided to take a step that I learned a lot. So if I can do this full time. So I was into a family business. I told my family, you know what, I want to try this out. And my family really supported me. They gave me like, take your time, see what you want to do. If you like it, you can do it. You can make money out of this. You can make a living out of it. Why not? So my family was very supportive. So end of 2019, let's say end October, I stopped working in my family business. So it's going to be 2 years in 10 days, more or less. No, not even 10 days, in a week, that I quit working. And I've been doing this full time right now. And it's been amazing. I love this journey. I mean, I had my ups and downs, but the ups have been better than the downs.
It's
So
great to know.
yeah, yeah. So that's my journey of trading. I started with first. I started with stocks,
Mhm.
and then when I started with options, and the amount you could make with options and the small capital you can use in options was crazy. Like, just blowed away my mind. And I fell in love with options, and I stick with options. I do once in a while stocks, small stocks I'll buy and sell, but basically I do options. I do mostly weeklies, option calls. So I play basically weekly options. It's a little bit more riskier. I do a little bit um, swings, but my swings is not my thing. I like to do get in and get out, sleep good in the night. So that's my thing. All right, let's get started.
Yep.
I, what I look in the market is always the first thing is in the ES, the mother of the market. See what it's doing, where it's where are we standing in the market. So if I use the cloud a lot, the Ikimuchu cloud. So if you see in the Ikimuchu cloud, we haven't been below the cloud all year long. All year long, whenever we came to the cloud, Let me make this a little bit more cleaner for you guys so you can see it. So whenever we came to the cloud, we bounced, made a move back up. We came, bounced, made a move back up. We bounced, made a move back up. Keep going on all year long. So whenever we're above the cloud, we're very bullish. We go below the cloud, we're bearish. So right over here, a few weeks back, we came inside the cloud, try to go back up, we came below. A little bit of correction in the market. It was nothing big. A lot of people were panicked, were big sell-off. But this, I mean, what we got in this whole year, it was just going up and up and up, up. So a little bit of pullback was a little bit healthy. So when we came around here touching the cloud, so I became more, you know what, okay, we got to watch out what's going to happen. When we below the cloud, are we going to close below it? And then we came and we stopped right here, 42.60. And from there, the journey started back going up. A little bit of correction here, came up, and we broke out the cloud last week. I use the squeeze a lot, PTM squeeze. I use the pro version. In the pro version, you can see we were squeezing. I mean, whoever knows how the squeeze works. So this is the momentum that's going up, momentum that's going up. So all year long, we had only momentum that was going up. We didn't have down momentum except for the last few weeks. The momentum changed, and we started moving from the cloud up with a little bit low volume. We don't have a lot of volume, but that's all right. And we started making the journey up. And we are right now above the cloud. On Friday, my bias was this was all-time highs, 45, 49. We came, went through it, and got rejected. I was ready for a rejection here because this is a big level. Mm-hmm. So was ready for rejection because either we would have like come up here and like blown away or come back down. We came back down, came back to POC, point of control, where the buyer step in. And a lot of people use this for volume profile. We came right to the volume profile, made a move back up, got rejected again, came back down, and we held above the volume profile, the POC. So we are still bullish in the market. As long as we stay above the 45.26, I think we're still going to make a grind up. We're still squeezing on the daily chart, and we're squeezing also on the 4-hour chart. We're squeezing the 4-hour chart right now. So we get a bounce from here and maybe try to break this all-time highs and get a bigger move. So I'm ready for up here, or if we go below this point of control, maybe we can come back and retest 4,500 and make another move up. So either we have two scenarios. We come and we make a move from point of control, go back to all-time highs, or we come back to 4,500, retest, and make a move back up. If we don't hold the 4,500, then we're going to go a little bit lower, would be about 44.69, about 44.69-ish. This was a resistance and support right now. So what I look also, for me to know how the market temperature is doing, I use the VIX a lot. So whenever we have the VIX spiking, market is going lower. Whenever we have the wicks coming back down, market is going up. So whatever we go above the 18 level, you have, I started like watching my longs a little bit because the VIX is spiking, the market is dropping then a little bit. So right now we came right below the 16 level on Friday and we made all-time highs by 2 points. Nothing a big all-time highs, but we broke it. So we'll be watching the VIX also, what she does tomorrow, if she's going to go above 16 or she's going to stay below here. I mean, if you see VIX in the daily chart, she's oversold. So we could get a little bit of a upside with the VIX and then get a pullback and then the market can make a new high. That's my whole bias on the ES for next week. And if you look at good at the leading at the moment is the YM. Since last week, I told in the webinar with Naval's group that YM was the leading last week. YM was the first one coming out from the daily cloud. YM was the first one making all-time highs last week, and then we got ES making all-time highs. And NQ has been a lagger at the moment. The tech, if you see good over here also in the YM, we have a nice daily squeeze that fired on the upside. So the momentum is still very bullish. And last week we had NQ was a lagger. So NQ was holding the market pretty well down last week. Like it wasn't giving the market a push to make new highs. So NQ, we try to break above the cloud. Same story. We came below the cloud. We've been holding this nice trend line from the daily. Whenever we came, we bounced off, trying to go for a new highs. But of course, since we have all these earnings coming up this week, NQ has been a lagger because there's a lot of selling going on in the tech at the moment. So I'll be watching NQ very, very carefully also, see if she tries to make that move back up or it comes back down. NQ is a very big one, so a lot of stocks follow the NQ. A lot of the big tech stocks follow the NQ, like Amazon, Facebook, Apple, Google, and name it. And then we have on Tuesday, we have Facebook earnings, we have Google earnings, we got Microsoft earnings, we got AMD earnings. So it's going to be very, 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 on Tuesday is going to be a very tough day for the tech because we have a lot of big earnings coming up. So we don't know if it's going to be a sell-off before the tech earnings come out or after the earnings we make a rip. So on Tuesday after close, will like guide us how the market is going to behave. So now we got the ES. We spoke about the NQ. I mean, NQ also, if you see, has a squeeze that's fired, but she's been a little bit of lagger. So what I'll be looking next week is for YM and ES, see if they can start making a move back up and NQ can follow them. I hope NQ doesn't bring them down. If the market has, if Facebook, Google, Microsoft has good earnings, I think we're going to rip up here. All depends on these tech earnings coming next week.
I agree. I totally agree on that.
Yeah. Can I ask like questions or anything in here, or they can't speak?
They can't speak as of now. So what we can do is we can go to a couple of good tickers which you think can work out really well coming next week, and then I'll take it from that point onwards.
All right. Let's start with Apple, just to have a general, because Apple moves a lot with the market, just to know how. I don't trade the Apple a lot. I use the Apple for a gauge, just to know how the market is working at the moment. If I trade Apple, it's basically a lotto. I'll just play it for 10 cents, 20 cents, and just leave it there and see if it works out or not. So if you see Apple also had this nice move up, made all-time highs, came low. We try to break out this cloud. We're not breaking the cloud. We have the squeeze that formed. The squeeze broke out already. On Monday, we're probably going to be above this cloud over here and maybe make a move back up. So Apple, for me, looks kind of nice and bullish over here. We have a nice resistance right here at 150-ish. And if we can come above 150, retest, we can make a nice all-time high maybe this week itself. So Apple is going to be in my watch. I don't trade Apple that much because I like to play a little bit more bigger stocks. But Apple does look really good for next week if we can break above this 150.
Yes.
Microsoft looks. Okay, you continue. Let me just restart this.
Okay, I'll take over. Just let me know once you're back.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. It's Naval here. So it was Manish who was just sharing his viewpoint on ESNQ and Dow Jones futures. And I'm just trying to bring in a new way of reading chart because some people find every day if we get a new prospect about direction, it kind of clears up the air. If we have more people thinking about the same thing, then the possibility of that is much better as compared to if we have people having a different view altogether. All right, that's the only objective here. Plus, we are going to know a new way of reading charts. All right, so let me come back to my normal exercise. So we have this list. I'll keep this list intact, but we will definitely go through the additional tickers in meanwhile. But first and foremost thing, I want to discuss about ES. And ES, if you know, we talked about inverted head and shoulders. It broke out, and then we made all-time highs. This 4546 was broken. We made a new high, 4551. We made a gravestone doji. Gravestone doji is a doji where you have open and your close right at the same point. Uh, Here the open was 4530, close was 4529.25. So it's almost a perfect gravestone doji. Now, the interesting part is that we are at all-time highs. If we get a red candle now, then 4484, 4505 is going to be very interesting stop. If we get support here and bounce, then we negate that evening star, which is in making right now. If we make a near high, that negates everything. Then we have no resistance and we're going up for 4600. Plus, we have big earnings coming this week. So, potential of going higher because the big tech stocks like Google, Facebook, they have already gone down substantially with the provision that yes, they are going to post bad earnings. Apple, Microsoft, they are uh, still holding much better. Tesla is running, and in fact, Netflix is making all-time highs almost every day in line with Tesla. So they are going to consolidate. QQQ. QQQ may be looking at the same level, maybe somewhat higher, but there will be flow of dollar amounts or liquidity from Facebook, Google into more specific stocks like Netflix, Tesla. I'm assuming Amazon is going to post very good numbers, but if they do not do split, then they are the same old story. But this time they're going to have some press conference after the year. So something nice is expected. So I'm expecting a good potential run on that. So more or less, we are in a bullish framework. We just need to manage this 451, this area, 45, I would say this close. The last time which I explained, the open and the close here, the open here. So if we manage this 4516, we are bullish. We are bullish and we are looking for 4607 in straight line. So I am super bullish. I will not be jumping on any stock which is weak, but I'll be preferred or I will think to jump on stocks which have more strength and they're not falling down. Like even on Friday, I did pick up Netflix. Netflix was holding its level of 654, which I will show you in just few minutes. But that level helped me to manage my own stop loss. That yes, I should keep my stop loss, and then it closed at the day high, and I recouped some of the losses which I had on that day, just by keeping a good stock even in a nasty market, which it was on Friday. All right, so in my ears, I'm still positive. I will simply say the stop loss is 45.16 now because we are there. Target is still 45.75, 46.07, and we can buy this in the range of uh, 25 to 35. I will not miss in this area. So it's positive. And I'm giving a conviction of 70% this time, because I wanted to break down below certain level to confirm a negative direction. So on the negative side of ES, as I said, if we break below 4516, most likely we are going to test 4461 before we jump again. So 4461, 4427 will come in with the long-term support. So I'm not hesitant to say that if we fall bad after earnings, this is a good area to enter again for long positions, which is 44, 27, 28 area. Okay, so negative side, I'm still neutral. I'll not be marking this as a loss, but sell below, I would say 4504, and stop loss will be 4516. Here, I'm just giving you a range that in this range, if it comes, then I'll be a buyer. I'll not be buying above this. I'll be a buyer in this range, keeping a stop loss here. And in case I'm planning to go short, when the market is below 4504, I would go short and look out for 4483 and 4461. Possibility, I'm just counting it as of now, very less, because we are still making higher highs and we made the new all-time high just on Friday. So there is some buying which is happening. There is no selling. Every time there's selling happening, it's short-lived, and then we bounce again. So I'm just giving one more chance on the longer side to me. Triple Q. Triple Q has been holding this 374.57 line. What which is good happening here is that the EMA, the 12 EMA and the 34 EMA, they had a reasonable gap between the candles and them. Now this is catching up. Now the stop loss has moved up considerably. So tomorrow, if we have QQQ managed above 374.57, I think 369 or 370 would be a great stop loss for it to go long for 380. So QQQ, I will be a buyer in a dip for this as of now. I'll not be shorting this unless and until I'm super sure. Because we have big earnings. Microsoft has a substantial component. Amazon, Facebook, Google, all of them have substantial component. So if you do not want to trade any of these ERs, you might try to pick up QQQ after hours. Like most of these companies, they post, besides Apple, post at 4 o'clock. So if you really want to trade QQQ and you are not sure, wait for their numbers and how the number reacts, pick up QQQ. And you can make a trade out of that instead of playing direct ER ticker. Because all of them have high premiums, so it's much better if you can jump on Triple Q. Triple Q has light premium, plus Triple Q will move if any of these big stocks moves in the direction. All right. So again, I'm just giving it a go for 70% because I'm positive on the earnings, because the expectations have been very, very downsized, especially for Amazon, Facebook. They've already seen, like, Amazon was 3,700 and it came down to 3,300 now, and Facebook was 385 and now it's 320. So the expectations are very downsized. So if they move, they will push the QQQ, and ES also has a component, percentage component of these all companies at about 8 to 9%. So that will also push the ES as well. Selling, in case I have to sell Triple Q, I'll be selling it below 368. If it goes below 368, I will be definitely selling. And I will keep the stop loss of 369.70. So 369.70 is an inflection point, if you want to call, or a pivot point, which many people use. And in this case, we are looking forward to this area. Once we break this, this is the area where it has shown strength as well as support. So 362, 361 should be a good area to test if it breaks below. So 362.60 and 361.40. This is the area where we can have good support. Uh, IK is asking about SPY. So let me just give you a SPY view as well. SPY is also making gravestone doji here. It almost tested this long-term trend line 455, 455, and above it, like, because we have 4860. I was assuming that we would hit 4860 on ES. That equates to about 4860 on SPY as well. But we need to break out above this long-term trend line here and this one. If we break out above this, we are looking forward to 4800 by the end of this year. It means that we are not expecting any taxation on the capital gains or the corporate tax. If that happens, this should be our target by the end of the year. If that happens and we get rejected from this purple trend line, then the story will be defined once we break below 444, which has been the previous support. So right now, in case of SPY, I would say if we hold above this number, like similar to ES, if we hold above 451, which is here, this area, 451.60 area, then we are good. If we go below this, then we might come down and test 446 practically. So this is the gap filling, as well as it will come and test the 12 EMA. And then it may take a direction from that point onwards. So 451 is an interesting stop loss for long in SPY. Okay. Then I have in my list, let me just do the scan because I did not do the scan for rest of the tickers. Let me just do an inside scan. The inside day snow, Piton, FSLR. So I want to include snow for sure. I also wanted to include ITSI here. Instead of Burlington, I want to include ITSI. Moderna has done its job, so I don't want to include Moderna anymore. So I want to include Okta. Yeah. I think rest of them are pretty good. Nike is doing that and everything. And I'll come back to all the tickers like once we do the collaboration on the Zoom. Right now, let me just focus on my list. Okay, so I'm including Apple first in my analysis. Apple has earnings this week on 10/28 after the market. Apple is holding this area, like here it closed, open, went up. Here it opened, here closed right on that point. 148.70, 148.60 is very strong support for Apple. So if I have to go long, I would keep that in mind with a stop loss of 147.50. I would like to go long and look for 153, at least on Apple. Only thing which has changed Apple is the area to enter. It's in between, buy in the range 148 to 149 with a very strict stop loss of 147.45. If we hold this area, we're going to run. We're going to run and we're going to run and test 153. A break of 153 here, like it's coming on the earnings. A break here of the trend line will take us to 158, the all-time highs. So I'm pretty much interested to see if Apple can give me an opportunity to enter around 147.80 to 149. If I have that opportunity, I will not miss it. I will go long in that opportunity. So I'm bullish on Apple. AMD has been my favorite stock for long, and it has tested like 121 area on Friday, but could not close because the market was getting sold off and ended up around the flat area 119, 180. So even now, this has a breakout zone, this purple line. So If we get an opportunity around 117.60, that will be the stop loss. Any opportunity between this price, I think we should be buying this. 118, 119, this should be the stop loss. Target 122, 124. If we break 124, we have target of 128. So this is the setup. I will just give it 128 for AMD. AMD is positive. Amazon had a very bad day on Friday. Gladly, I did not trade it. I was stuck with Beyond, and that was enough. Amazon broke below 3384 once again. It's again making an inverted head and shoulders. If you see it, it's setting up that. So tomorrow, if it comes here, I'll be a buyer because inverted head and shoulders will end up making a very big move. So if I take a screenshot of this and post it here, and we can like discuss about this in our collaboration, that whether it's making sense or not. But I'm expecting this to come around this area by ER or before ER and then hit this. I'm expecting something on Amazon ER this time. This is a perfect inverted head and shoulders. Okay, so I'm still bullish on this. Like I'm neutral because IHS has not been developed. It's half or 80% of it is already there, but the last part is not there. So I'll be just keeping a stop loss of Friday's low. Okay, Friday's low was 3331, 3331. So just keep 3331 as the stop loss and go long for sure, Manish. I'll just give you control in a few minutes. So once we break above 3363, I think we should be pretty much good on Amazon. 3363 needs to break out. And then we could have a target of 3384, and which is this 3384 and then 3463. See, I do not change my lines, Fibonacci lines. I'm still confident on them. And that's why even if it is neutral, I'm marking it in green, that it needs to develop that pattern so that we may move up. Navdeep and I will cover BA, Python, Spy, all of them once I'm done with my list, because then we lose the agenda. Because I will be sharing the link and then we can talk about them. We can go through all of these stickers one by one. All right. So let me just hand over this to Manish. He can share the screen and take it forward from where he left. Manish, are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So I will be stopping the sharing and you can take over.
Yeah, you can see my screen.
Ah, yes, it's there.
Sorry for that. Thinkorswim just cut me down.
That's all right.
Yeah, so we were going about Microsoft. So Microsoft was very strong on last few days. She's grinding up and making new all-time highs over here. She made all-time highs on Thursday, made an all-time highs on Friday, and got a little bit of rejected because the market wasn't that strong. And on Tuesday, we have earnings on Microsoft. Like Naval said, would be very nice to watch what earnings is going to do. And based on what the earnings is going to do, you can play the QQQ calls or puts, whichever side you feel like the market would go with the earnings. I'm not gonna I don't play earnings, but I would probably buy some Qs when we get the numbers out from Microsoft or Facebook. Facebook is Monday. Facebook is Monday.
Facebook is Monday, and I'm expecting good numbers from it.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Facebook chart, she's been beaten down, and I don't think so. She will go more down. I mean, we had this big gap down that we got from Snap earnings. Um, I don't feel Facebook will get beaten down. I think this is a place where buyers will step in to get into Facebook. We are
Yeah,
right, we are right holding the 200 EMA. Last time we came to the 200 EMA, we started making the move, but got rejected. Market was sloppy. Tried again, going up. We were about to go about the 50 EMA to make a move back up, and then Snap just gave it a big hit to all these ad um, tickers. So I'm pretty bullish on Facebook, but of course, after Facebook, I will play after the earnings, see what they're gonna announce, and from there we'll see if we can get a move from Facebook. But I'm pretty bullish on Facebook because I think this is a good spot where buyers are gonna step in and buy Facebook. All right, the next sticker I have was AMD, but Naval just went about it. I'll just show my quick glimpse what I think about AMD, and then we can go on. AMD made a nice move up here. Was a nice bullish move. She just got nice earning, good numbers, and just kept grinding and grinding and grinding. Was very overextended over here. Got a little bit pullback, came back, held my. If you see good, this was all-time highs on AMD and we never went below that. So we came, we held the previous all-time as a support, and from there started making grind back up. If you look at this also, we had a nice squeeze forming on the daily. So it was like in a range trading, and from there, when the squeeze started breaking out over here, we started making a move back up. Little bit overextended at the moment. Maybe we can come back, retest around over here and make a move back. I'm pretty bullish on AMD. I think we're gonna see all-time highs in this earnings, maybe even like blowout earnings from AMD. And of course AMD. I'm not gonna touch it till the earnings. So after Tuesday, depends how the earnings go. I mean, we can have a blowout earnings and it can sell off also. That's all about earnings. You can never predict what's gonna happen with earnings. They don't give guidance or whatever, and she can tank. But AMD, I'm very bullish in this stock. Very, very bullish. The next one I have is Zoom. Zoom, if you Zoom has been beaten down. It's just got beaten down. Earnings came, we got a gap down, just kept grinding down. Every time we got a pop up, we got beaten down. For Zoom, I have this as my support, 273. We broke that a few days back and we started grinding up. If you see good over here, we've been below the moving averages that I have here. The moving average that I'm using over here is the 8 EMA, the 13, the 21, the 50, and the 200. So we were below the 8 EMA. We started grinding back up, started making a nice move, broke the 21, and started making a move. On Friday, we had a nice gap up, but gave back. Whenever Zoom is getting a nice gap up, it's been selling off. But I like this chart a lot. If we can go above the 50 EMA and go into the gap fill area and break the cloud and go back, make a move back up. So I'll be watching this 50 EMA on Zoom, see if we can break above this 50 EMA and start going into the gap fill, make that move back up. At the same chart as for FedEx also. We are already in FedEx calls. I think Naval also in FedEx, right?
yeah, I have next week Felix calls.
Even I'm in the 240 calls. Got a little bit rejected. If you see good on the 30-minute chart, the rejection happened right at the gap fill area where it starts, where there's gray boxes. And we got rejected over there a little bit. The Friday, the market was not that strong. So FedEx also I'm pretty bullish on, but the only thing that a little bit scary is on FedEx, on Tuesday we have UPS earnings. So it's a little bit like if UPS posts good numbers, we can like go in this gap and fill this gap. If UPS doesn't have some good earnings, she can bring FedEx down also. But if you see over here in FedEx also, we have a momentum that was coming down. The momentum started changing, becoming from red to yellow, and the squeeze is forming right now, and the momentum is changing into the light blue. So I'm pretty bullish over here. If you can get into this gap fill area, I see we're gonna see 240, 245 this week very easily. If all depends on UPS's earnings also. You agree on this, Naval?
Like UPS, I have to check the chart, but FedEx, yes, I'm in agreement.
UPS looked very nice last week. She's been just grinding and grinding and grinding.
Yes.
Now, if you see, let me just do this.
Like I don't trade UPS that much. Like I have traded once a while, but the options in UPS are not as liquid
Yeah,
as FedEx had. So
yeah,
I
for
tend
sure.
to even go for like 6 months out in UPS.
Yeah, for sure. I had the 195 calls on Wednesday,
Hmm.
and I had the calls right here on 195s because I was seeing this trend that's switching to the upside. So I got the 195 calls on Wednesday. I was down by $10 end of the day, and I closed it for a loss for $10. If I held the 195s, you could see how much she made a move on Thursday and Friday. I mean, I regret selling it, but like I sleep better when I'm basically cash in the night. So this was a good setup on UPS. I just closed it before this move happened. So I regret it, but that's what trading is about. I mean, you got to save your capital. And if you see UPS also, we are in the gap fill at the moment, and we're above the cloud. The momentum is switching to the upside. But UPS, I'm not going to touch it because she has earnings on Tuesday. And I like the FedEx chart a little bit more because FedEx has been oversold and UPS has been overbought over here. So we can get a little bit pullback, or we can just chill over here, and maybe we can even break this and go up. But I like FedEx more for next week.
Hmm.
My next sticker that I'm watching is Roblox. I'm in this trade already. Roblox, I like this chart a lot. Um, it's a nice inverse head and shoulders. Trying to make a nice move back up. We breaking out from the cloud. And if you see good over here, let me just pull out. This used to be all time when the IPO came out of Roblox. This was the all time high. So we're 83.48. We came we came over here and just broke out the 83.48 with like massive volume. Came back, went up, retested around over here, try to go back up. Every time we are around this area of 83.48, we make like a massive move up. We made from here 83.48 all the way to 94. And the chart looks pretty bullish at the moment because momentum is changing. There is volume coming in. And if we hold above this 83.48, I think we're going to see 90 very closely this week. I'm in the 85 calls for this week. Already made, we got in at this candle on Thursday. So I'm already up a nice percentage on that. I already closed most of my position. I'm just holding two contracts at the moment. The next one I like is Crowd. Crowd made a nice move on Friday, but she gave back basically not everything, but a lot of it. What I like about the Crowd also, we have this nice 1 hour squeeze that's forming. It's been very tight in the range. On Friday, we did make new all-time highs at 290, but she gave back because the market wasn't that strong. So I'll be watching Crowd very closely. If you can get this 1 hour squeeze breakout, we can get to 300 very easily. The Crowd can make 10, 15 points move in one day very easily. So this is a very nice bullish chart. I like when we have a nice squeeze forming below all-time highs, can get a nice move over here. a nice daily chart. Momentum is switching to the upside. Not just we don't have much volume coming in, but very bullish in this chart. And if you see, we have a trend line over here. We broke. We try to break. We tried again, and we came right below this trend line. So I'll be watching this trend line, and my next fib levels is 294. So I think we're gonna retest we're gonna test 294 and 300 this week if we can go above the 290 level. AFRM. I like this chart a lot. Let me just clear this a little bit. What I like about this chart is this used to be all-time highs at 146.90, and once we broke the 146.90, we haven't closed below it. Every time we made a move, we went above 146.90, but we closed above it. We closed on the dot. We made a big move up here. We came back. We retested the 146.90 and made a nice move back up. So I like this chart a lot. I'll be looking for it's a risk. It's going to be a risky trade if you're going to be playing this because she moves a lot. But if we can come and retest the 146.90, I'll probably go long over here. So I got AFRN. Baidu, a Chinese stock that's finally making a move. This stock, I played this whole momentum up here, and she used to pay nice. She used to move $10, $15 on these moves, very nice pay. So finally, she is making a move back. We've been oversold on Baidu. Baidu is the Google of China. So whatever Google does, Baidu also does over there, and they into EV also, electronic vehicles. So Baidu, what I'm looking on Baidu is holding this 200 EMA right here. 200 EMA is a big one that institution get like to buy over here. On Baidu, if you look at the chart, we've been like oversold. Every pop we got since here, got a pop, consolidated, made a move, tried to break the 50 EMA, then came back down, and now finally we above the 50 EMA and we're above the cloud right now. Whenever we go above the cloud, that means the momentum is changing from bearish to bullish. So if we can hold this 177 next week, I can see a nice push on the Chinese on this Baidu up here. If we see good over here, we're right at the support area. This is support area 174, 177. So if we can make a move from here, we can make a move for sure around maybe not 200 right away, but I think in a week or 2 weeks we can see 200 very very close.
Yes, I agree on that. Because even in my charts, I was looking at 196.
Yeah. So this is a nice next big resistance that I see 205 on Baidu. But of course there are smaller ones right here, that 190. But if we can stay above this 200 EMA, I think it's a nice to go long over here.
Yep, I agree.
And what I like about Baidu chart is also small tip. We always in these Chinese names, we always get nice big gap ups from morning. Let's say we close in the night, in the morning we open 5 points up, 6 points up. So I would suggest to you if you guys want to play weeklies or something, it's nice to buy something right before close. If you think Baidu is going to be bullish the next day, and you can buy this at 180, and the next day she can open at 185. Like just an example.
Mm-hmm.
Because she when Baba and Baidu are making that move up, they always gap up a few points up, like like 4 or 5 points. And these options, when they gap up 4 or 5 points, they pay nice. This week we played the 180, 185s, I think 185s. We took it from $50 to $1.50. That
I
was a good.
played Baba.
Was that?
Yeah, I played Baba. I had like 180 from 70, sold it at 2.
Yeah, yeah. So I played Baidu this week. Went from 150 to went from 50 to 150. That's about 200% move. It was a nice move. I
Yep.
think I think we bought it somewhere over here and sold it around here.
Okay.
Since
So, Manish, before you jump, I would like to share the Zoom link because
sure,
people are waiting and it's already 45 minutes.
all
So,
right,
let's do this interactively.
all right,
And let me jump onto the my screen so that we can share the sheet as well.
okay.
And if you have any points on the tickers, because I don't want people to like wait on and on and on,
No, no,
because
for sure.
right. So let's because they have questions and we want to discuss the questions and their charts.
All
That's the
right.
main idea. All
Let
right.
me start it, and
So
then
I'll be taking over the control and I'll be posting the link into the Zoom meeting. Uh, in between, where is Zoom link? I posted it to you, right? Let me just copy it from there. Yeah, it's there. So guys, you can all join on Zoom and then we can do this interactively. All right. So I posted the link in the chat. You can all come over and we can discuss from that point onwards. Let me, and if you have to share, what do you call, your screen or something, do let me know. We can discuss. All right, but before that, I just want to complete this list so that we can have a meaningful conversation, because there are many members who wanted to talk about tickers. So we'll go one by one on each of them. Guys, please mute yourself. Like that. This is a simple. I'll keep everybody muted for now. I don't know like how many times I have to say this. Okay. So we were at Amazon, and thank you, Manish, for your wonderful insights. I like to do this collaboration most of the times. Oh, so we were at Amazon. So we were talking about Amazon, that Amazon is ready to move. It's making inverted head and shoulders. A move above 33.63 will confirm it, and then it can test 34.63. If it breaks 34.63 before here, I'm looking forward for all-time highs in Amazon. So if I have to take a trade, I will wait for a trade once it breaks above 3384. That will be a super confirmation of going long in Amazon. Then we did talk about IWM. IWM is trying hard and holding this long-term trend line. 228 is a good area to break out. So it's trying to hold that area. It's not breaking out totally. It goes up and give it back, but it's kind of holding this green line. So Monday, if we break out about 228, I think this time we are going to fill 230 area and then we'll break out. So it's going to be very, very interesting for IWM small cap index to hold 228 and move up. And small cap has been lagging and has been consolidating a lot as compared to rest of the indexes. So if it breaks out, it will run 2-3% back to back. So about 230, we have a target of 240 right there. It can hit that pretty easily. This is the only sector. If you look at the chart here for weeklies, this is the only index which is not breaking out. It's still there when it was last year. All the other indexes have broken up considerably from the last year, October. So I'm expecting a very big move in this. On the weekly, you see it's making higher highs, and on the weekly, IWM has inverted a morning star as well. After the consolidation, it's a morning star. There was a morning star, it failed, then it became the evening star, then it became the morning star again now. So it has high potential to go up as soon as it breaks about 228. Keep this in mind that 228, it can give you 2-3 percentages pretty easily and pretty strongly. So stop loss will be 238, 229, 230. Look for 234, 240. I will simply say if this time it breaks out, it will test the all-time highs, which is 234 and then 240. I'm pretty bullish. Yeah, and I'm just mentioning here it's morning star on weekly. Baidu, Manish was suggesting the positive outlook on Baidu, so I have the positive outlook as well. And we have been talking about Baidu and Baba for a couple of weeks now. That yes, they are moving along well. And now, see, it tested 176.60. It held on to that. Now, I want it to go above 178.54. If it does, then we have no issues testing 190, which is the gap fill right there. 190. 6 gap fill, and then we should be good. This is the area where it has seen some rejection, 185 area, 186 area, above 178, 185, 186, and 196. That's the gap fill. So I'm pretty bullish on Baidu. So Baidu buy above 178.50 because it was broken on Friday. Stop loss is 177.60. Targets are still the same. So now the risk reward is much better in case of Baidu. And Amazon, IWM, Baidu, I'm super bullish. That's why that's 70% there. Okta has an inside day, a candle within a candle, the volume within a volume, and it has been consolidating. It is also making inverted head and shoulders. So any opportunity in Okta, if you get to 250, that will be like if it breaks down tomorrow after the inside day and comes to 251, do not miss to go long here. I'm sure it's going to hold this gap. Holding of this gap means it's super strong and buyers are even ready to buy here, respect of the fact that there is a gap. So holding this gap will become very bullish. So if it comes as a breakdown after tomorrow's inside day, do not miss. If it breaks out, then it can test 267, 265, 267. And stop loss will be pretty small, which is 261. So a breakout above 261, stop loss will be 259 in Okta. Okta is inside day, and I'm marking it positive because I'll be a buyer even in the dip by about 261 area. Stop loss 259.70. And target I'm looking for 265 and 267. And I'm just marking this as green because it's bullish. I'm just giving it 60% because it is an inside day. It has to break out. Once it does, if it opens up 261, that's perfect. That's a great start if it breaks above this. But if it doesn't, it opens in between or mid between, then it's a little time consuming. Then you have to wait and see. That's why I'm giving it a 60%. But yes, it's bullish. If it comes around 250, I will not miss it. As simple, I would say. General Motors, I'm bullish. General Motors is holding this 58 area, 57 area pretty strongly. It did made like a red candle on Friday because the market sentiment was so bad. But I'll be a buyer in this anytime if it comes around 57, because if it comes around the EMA, then we see a big gap up most of the time. There are gap like when the candle is away from the EMA, then it tries to come down and align with the candle. Once it aligns, and it is positive momentum carrying on. So here it has aligned here. So positive momentum is ongoing. If you look at weekly candles here, weekly candle is taking a good support of 56. So it's still bullish. It's kind of making an evening star, but still it has to come down below this to confirm it, but it's not happening. So 56, 53 is a good stop loss on the weeklies. Look for a target of 62 uh, in case of General Motors. Stop loss will be 56, 35, and by about 58. That's about 3% stop loss, and then we have a move for about, I will say, in the range, because this is bigger stop loss. 57, 50 to 58. Buy in this range. And this Netflix is coming to, Netflix is super positive. And I wanted to give you a Netflix overview as well on half an hour, which I did on Friday. Netflix during Friday afternoon was trying to go and break this area, which is the 12 EMA. It came down. I went long somewhere here around 656, 660 at 10 o'clock candle. Then it came down and tested this 12 EMA. It held. It tested it. It never closed below this. And that was a confirmation. And it held both the candles back to back. And then I kept my position in. And I realized that, yes, by the end of this day, we are above all-time highs and my stop loss is intact. My momentum has shifted positive, and this will carry on. I will not be surprised if tomorrow we have a gap up on Netflix. So 677, and I've been recommended Netflix from 540, 550 area. So I've been holding long-term Netflix positions. January 2023, 600 calls, 700 calls. They are deep in the money, and there are no plans to sell them. They are not multiple lots, like 1 or 2 lots max, but they're still good deep in the money. All right, so I'm strongly bullish on Netflix up to 682 area. Once it tests 682, I will revisit my thought on Netflix. So I'll not be missing any opportunities in Netflix. Only thing is target is 684, 82. And stop loss will be 652 now. That was held on Friday. Buy in the range of 660 to 665. If you get in this range, go long. Neo, I am still neutral. Like all the EV stocks, this has not moved out, but it managed to test 3850. And the good thing is that the EMAs are catching up. So it's coming to a point where it can bounce now. 3850 should be an excellent stop loss in Neo, and I'm holding Neo positions just as a disclaimer. And if it breaks below this, I will exit. But I'm assuming that yes, it will hold 3850 area and go for 3980 and 42. So I'll be just adding them in this area. I'm just marking this as neutral because I'm looking forward to add this, keeping this stop loss pretty confined and looking for these targets. Facebook on Friday opened and sell and went down. It gave opportunity to do the sell as we discussed. Now it's coming to a very strong long-term support area. It has seen this long-term support area in February, March. So it's almost similar area, having good consolidation. So a good earning can push it back. So if you have to take a trade in Facebook at this point, I would recommend to keep 321 as a stop loss if you're going long, which is the low for Friday, 321, and look out for 333, 338. I will change my stance on Facebook to positive if it breaks above 342.90, but I will still call this as neutral to short. I'm just taking a view with respect to earnings that yes, it can be pretty good earnings because it has already discounted all the negatives. So 333 and 338. These are earnings, so I'm not confident. I'm just giving them 60%. earnings are earnings. Like nobody can do anything in them. And if I mean stop loss for earnings, you have to respect it. If it is not working, it is not working. Don't try to jump onto it. Google has been a very good trade on the evening star. It came, made the evening star, and almost gave you from this trend line to this trend line move, almost $100 move. So now again, previously it has shown some consolidation. It also has earnings on Wednesday, Wednesday or Tuesday. I think it's on 26. So Tuesday. So based on Facebook earnings, Alphabet may also react. So as I'm calling Facebook positive, neutral to positive, because it's coming to the long-term support. Here also in Google, it's coming to a positive support. If it breaks this, there are gaps in Google which needs to be filled. 2,500 gaps, 2,600 gaps. These gaps needs to be filled. So if this breaks this time, after Facebook, I would expect Google to fill those gaps. So Facebook earnings will have a good impact on Google earnings and Google candle. So I'll be just keeping a cautious trade of neutral with the stop loss of 27.37. I'm just calling this as neutral because Facebook can post good earnings and may. So buy here with the stop loss of 27.37 and target will be 27.86 and 2800. I'm not expecting much move, calling it 60% because I'm not confident, and they are result based, buying the range 2750 to 2755 in this range. ITSI has been a breakout and it's making a bullish engulfing. It came to all the way here. I think it's coming to a area where it can move substantially higher to its previous highs of 251. After a very long time, it has come to test a long-term trend line. So a close right on that is bullish. So I'll keep a very small stop loss 213 and look for 262 in ITSI. Some ITSI very bullish, positive, buy above 242 area. Stop loss is 239, 251 and 262 in ITSI, and I'm 70% confident. This is bullish engulfing. Nike has been doing its job pretty decently, and it's moving up, and up, and I have no complaints on this. It will move up. The trend has changed. It's looking for 169, and the same thing, like open here, the close here and the open here are same, which is really good, and you can keep that as a stop loss now. So that will become 162.20, and just be long in this. This will move $1 or $2 a day, but it will come and hit 169. I've been recommending or trading Nike since 148. It moves slowly but steadily and gives you good return, especially in swings. Square has seen some cut down because of Bitcoin, but again, it's coming to area 250 area where it should bounce, and that's what I was waiting for. Again, it's making an inverted head and shoulders. So if this area is held, we could potentially bounce pretty solid. I'm assuming that we can have a bounce right away. Like if it opens around 249, 250 area, they will be buying in Square with respect to Bitcoin movement. So Square, I'm still new. Like I'll call it positive because it's in making of inverted hand shoulders. Buy near 252, stop loss 249, targets 257 for now and 263. It is based on Bitcoin, that's why I'm marking it as 60%. Tesla made all-time highs. So Tesla stop loss is now 900, which was the previous all-time high. I'm just putting it right there. Buy in the range 900 to 910. It's a very good trade, Tesla. It's holding this area, finally brought up after a very long time, similar to it. See, it will hit 929. And I have a long-term target of 1172. So you might be seeing this number maybe next year, but right now it's 929. And we can revisit after 929 on Tesla. I'm pretty bullish. Snow was one of the stocks which was holding strongly above this line and has an inside day. It's coming in this area where this long-term resistance line has been killing it. So a break above 245 is a massive breakout on Snow. 345, I'm just waiting for it for quite a while now. So I'm still saying 345. If it breaks it, I'm looking for 386. There's no resistance after this breakout in Snow. This is 386. There's no resistance whatsoever. So I'm just calling it 386. I'm just removing beyond because that was such a mess. And stop loss will be 338. I would try to take this as a long-term option, maybe a month out or 2 months out for Snow, and look for a strike somewhere around 390 or 400 roughly. I would expect this to break out and give me good returns on that in Snow. Last is PayPal. PayPal, I'm expecting something on PayPal now. It went up, but then back-to-back red candles. It's holding 240, which is this consolidation area. Even in the past, it has held this area. So if it holds 240, which is a round number itself, if holds that area, because the low here and close here are same. If it holds this area, we might jump to 249 because the candles are coming from 310 back to back. So it's a good down momentum. And on weeklies, it had like bearish engulfing and then small bounce. Here we also have a bearish engulfing like back to back, and then it's bounced somewhere from this area. So I'm expecting some bounce in PayPal around 240 area. So I'm not positive. I'm just marking this as neutral. 240. If you want to trade Snow, you should be trading this as a spread because it has high premium because of the volatility. And if it breaks out, the premium will not go up. So we have to be careful while jumping into a stock which has high volatility. That makes the option pretty expensive. So coming back to here, I'm expecting a move towards 249 and 250, 250 and 257 if it holds 250. If it breaks 250, then yes, it can change the direction and continue slipping to 222. All right, so this is my list which I wanted to talk. Now let me open the channel, and I would recommend you to please speak if you are like have any questions. Otherwise, mute yourself. It creates a kind of disturbance to each and every one of us. Thank you. I'm allowing you to unmute, and we can now discuss. So we
Naval,
have
Saurabh here.
Hi, Saurabh.
Can you talk about SEC Limited?
It's C Limited, right?
Yes.
So it's coming to see. It's coming here to a good support where this green line, which is the 12 EMA, is catching up. So if it comes around here and holds it, it should be good stop loss for the long. If it breaks this, then it's breaking this Fibonacci level as well. Plus, it's breaking the 12 EMA, so it might come down and test 335 or take a support of 343 before making any further directions. So I would not make any new position here unless it breaks out above 360 or it comes down to 335. In between, it can be really choppy, and I would struggle to conclude which direction it's going to move.
Makes sense. Yeah. Thank you, Naval. Thanks a lot.
And if you have any charts, like any of you, we can discuss those charts. I can give you the screen, you can share your chart, or if you're having any issues, we can fix your charts. This forum is for that. Let me just pick up the tickers which we were discussing. We had, I think, Python in the chat. If I go here, we had BA, Neo, and Sophie. So Neo we discussed. Let's start from Python. Python, yes. Last time I discussed that there's an inside candle here and a breakout will be massive. It opened above, and then there's a follow through as well. Now it's holding this 92 area, closed up well above the 34 EMA, again an inside candle. So till the moment it's holding 92, I am bullish on Python. And I have to make new levels because these old levels are pretty far apart, 92 to 120, but it might come to 100 to fill this gap. It's a very small gap, but yes, that's the first thing which comes to the technical charts, that yes, it will come and fill this gap. So above 94, 95, 95.50. Above 95.50, it's a breakout on the inside day here and can fill 100 Python. Okay. Then we had BA. BA is making lower lows and lower highs. Totally rubbish. It has given me so much losses. I don't know how to justify that. It's coming to an area where it has seen some level of what I would say base. This area, it's a base. If it doesn't bounce here, it's gonna go down the rabbit hole and come down and fill the gaps on the daily chart at 195 and 175. It looks bad, but there are gaps which need to be filled. These are the gaps. If it breaks down this time, it will come and fill these gaps. 195 gap and 157 to 173 gap. So BA is not good. Then we had.
Hi, can you please check Chewy, please?
Chewy, sure. Just NNDM, Chewy. And guys, whoever is asking these questions, please share your charts if you have made, or share your position if you already have, so that we can evaluate what should be done. Chewy has to break out above 66.50, brother. If it does, then we have potential for 69. But as of now, it's right there at 12 EMA. So it should hold this. If it doesn't, then there's no trade in Chewy.
Thanks.
NNDM. And guys, this is open. So if you have any other ticker you want to talk, you can simply come up and speak. It's holding this base area of NNDM 5.5. I don't know much about this company, just that it's a ADR and a chip company.
Hey Naval, Daxon here. Could you review GUSH, GUSH, please?
I'll do that.
Thank you.
Like, anybody knows anything about NNDM, Nano Dimension?
Yes, this is Navaldeep. So this is a company based out of Israel. I think it's into 3D printing.
Yeah, I
it
remember.
enjoyed this hype during Kathy Wood's time because she bought it And after that, the company made a couple of offerings. And like other stocks, it has lost its lust. Valuation wise, I can justify even this price.
So fundamentally, you have shared your view. Technically, I don't see anything happening in it. So whoever was asking this, NNDM is not a trade to have. So next one was Gush. Gush, I would say 85 was my first target on crude. Now, like instead of Gush, I can explain you crude. Okay, and then you can interpret it crude to Gush. So crude, this was last time when I talked about crude in May, about 45, 50 area. And I made the chart last time here to 60 levels. It's coming. And let me just make some more. This one, yes. Start from here to here. So we can hit 86 and we can hit 100. So if you're bullish on Gush, you would just consider that with that kind of move, in crude, Gush has moved equally there. So if it breaks 87, there is about 20% move. So Gush also has about 20% move. It needs to break this 87 area. Does that help?
Yep.
Because I prefer crude, because there are 3 trades which I recommend for crude. One is Oxy, which I recommended at 11. And I think many in my friends list pick it up at 11. Then I called MAR, not
MRO.
MRO. These two. This was like $4 or $5 company when we picked it up. This can run much more than you can think of. It's a very good, like if you have options, its options are pretty liquid. And it can make good money for you if you want to trade crude companies. I will not recommend ExxonMobil because that is a very big company and it's not a big mover. These companies are big mover in terms of crude. Oh, like let me just check. FedEx we did. Zoom we discussed already. Python we did. Oracle is running. I got busted in the earnings for Oracle, but it just went on and on after that. It never stopped because the vision was clear. Now it is at long-term trend line. It has not seen long-term trend line since COVID. So break above here will be massive. Can take it to 114 for Oracle. Okay, so pretty bullish on Oracle. FedEx, I'm bullish. It's coming to 235. I've been a quick scalper in FedEx, like just take a position before the close, sell it at open. It's give you that opportunity. But a break above 235, we can fill this area. Manish was saying the same thing, that this coming in that gap fill area, a break above 237, which is 34 EMA for me, can really push it. And we have UPS earnings, so a follow through can happen here. And if we zoom, I'm still not positive on Zoom. Like I've been recommending to short this around this area where it had double M and look out for 300 area, 270. It came to that area. It needs to break out and hold this 290 area for me to even come into a trade in Zoom. If you really want to trade something, you might try 270 area to go long and keep very small stop loss of maybe $1 or $2. But I will only jump into Zoom if it crosses 290. Otherwise, there's no point jumping in Zoom. You may have it one day and next day it may cut down by $5. So I'll try to avoid Zoom. MU still not in a trading zone. MU needs to break out above 70. If it does, then it will catch up. Otherwise, it will simply consolidate. You may see a $2 move one day and then next day $1 move back down. So if you enter on that day when it is going up, you will have double loss. First, you will be buying it on expensive side, and second, the premium will be cutting pretty easily. So let it break above 70, 54, then it can have some momentum to make it move upwards. Otherwise, no, it's not a good trade on MU. Lucid Motors, I am always positive on Lucid Motors, no matter what. So I have long-term positions in Lucid Motors. So I will not even say anything. I'm just holding long-term options here. It has inverted head and shoulders right there. It didn't work out. It came back. So that's what it is. Technically, it's in a grinding zone. So entering here in options doesn't make sense. It needs a positive catalyst, which is the deliveries. Once it starts deliveries, only then it will move. Otherwise, it's going to grind. So anyone else? Because I have to leave in about 5 minutes.
How about Visa?
Visa is a no trade. Visa, MasterCard, I do not recommend. They don't move much. They have moved in the past just because there was free money flowing into these companies, but nothing else. If you're trying or expecting a move like what they did here, no, you're not going to get it.
Thank you. I was about to go.
This was free money, $1,400. Now there's no free money.
Thanks.
So that's a fact. You can see the movement right after the $1,400. Otherwise, it was consolidating. And since $1,400 started to come, you see, in June, May, it started to move up. Once that is done, the last one was $300 or something, and there's no such move. You cannot explain this technically because this is totally fundamental move in companies. This is same move in MasterCard, same move in Visa, same move in PayPal, same move in Square. That was all free money. Anyone else? No? Let me just check the chat here. Okay, we don't have anything else. So
CVS still looking good, Naval, right?
which one?
CVS.
CVS, like last time we talked, like it has to test 88, 89 area. It's going up slowly and steadily, and that's why I don't jump into these companies. They do move, but they're slow movers.
CVS, they're going to pay the dividend, I guess, today, 10/24. So this may move tomorrow.
It should have moved if the X date is in the past. But anyways, this is a slow mover, but it's making higher highs, high lows. So it's showing some strength on the positive side. It closed right on the higher end of the day.
Okay. What about Palantir, please? This is Sandeep from London, basically.
Palantir is a company which is again grinding. It needs 2550. It needs something on this year where we have this long-term trend line as well as this resistance 2558. If we break above this, we have a clear sky. If we don't, we'll still consolidate.
Okay, thank you. And I have another question from Manish. What indicator has been used for that cloud thingy?
It's Ichimo. It's right there. Manish, you're on the call? It's Ichimoku right there. It's a default cloud.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
But I will still recommend understand the price action. If you understand price action, there's no need for any indicator.
Thank you.
I had one
Yeah.
more question, Paji. How about the Snap? Do you think there'll be a dip buy
Yeah,
because they went down of the earning?
that company killed many people. Like I was talking about that. Yes, there's going to be a massive move. It's going to be up or down, and it will fill the gap. It did that. It created a big gap.
Right. Do you think it's still going to go down to about 51?
See,
where it was the last support?
It's much more than now technicals. It's hurting Apple is hurting the business for Facebook, for Google, for Amazon, for Etsy, for
That is true.
Shopify. Because if Apple do not provide the tracking of their users to these companies, they will not be able to sell product. And all these companies are based on advertisements.
True.
So
I think it's going to take a little while before it even jumps up.
Yes, and Apple is adamant that yes, I'm not going to back up from this.
Right.
And all these
I think
companies,
that is right.
including Twitter, Snap, Facebook, Instagram, I have said no. Like when I get my iPhone updated, it asked me, do you want me to track you? I said no. I believe many people would have done that.
True, me as well, yeah.
Even if it reinstates, I have said no already, right? So the possibility of me jumping on and saying, oh, track me will be not that much. So it's going to be a long-term hit. And I'm positive on Facebook and Google just because they're diversifying. They're diversifying their business just out of ads.
True. Thank you, Paji, for all you do.
No problems.
Just one more.
Huh?
Disney check kiya tha, Paji? Did you check that?
Disney, no.
I think it's at a resist. It's at a support.
It broke down. It broke down that support. 167 will come. And it has earnings. So if it breaks this 167, we have the gap to fill of 154.
Hello?
It's at very important juncture in Disney.
Okay, 170, 167.10. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Hello.
Thanks, Paji.
This is MK. Can you please check ASO, Academy Sports? Looks like it is coming out of daily squeeze.
ASO?
ASO, Academy Sports.
It's still in that range. It needs to break out of 45 just to be honest, to make any meaningful move. It was making higher highs, higher lows, but then it made a new low. So it still needs some more push. It's consolidating well. If it breaks above 45, yes, it's looking good after that, but it needs some push.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
And you can simply evaluate this by looking at the candles. See here, there were buyers who came and took it to the top, and then they were not sure what to do. They sell it off. Again, they dumped it. Now it came to the same price, they bought it. So it's not coming out for a range. Every red candle is followed by the green candle. Red candle followed by the green candle. So it's still in a confusing state. It needs to break out with some positive volume, a catalyst. I don't know this company at all, so I don't even know the fundamentals behind it, but it needs to break out at least 45 to make any meaningful upside direction.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
All right, guys, I need to drop now because I have to leave for somewhere. So if you have any questions for me, do let me know on my Twitter. You can send me a message and I'll pick it up. And all the best for tomorrow. Have a good
day. Thank you so much, Navaldeep. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good luck, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Paji and Manish.